This video that we're about to play, it kind of goes hand in hand with a video that we gave some insight to a couple days ago. It was in regards to single mothers dating. Well, this particular video that we're about to watch, you're gonna see for yourself. It like once we're done, you're gonna see how we could connect the dots.
All right, let's go.
Atlanta mother is grieving as her son is on the run, accused of killing her husband. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Newton County deputies say 41-year-old David Gay was shot and killed by his stepson in the family home last evening. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor just talked with the wife of the victim, who is also the mother of the suspect. A lot to take in for this woman. Angelique.
Good afternoon to you both. This Newton County mother is an emotional wreck. She clearly says she loves her husband, who was killed just last night, but tonight her plea is to her son, who is accused of murder and on the run. She says she wants him to turn himself in. Now, we just talked with her minutes ago. Take a listen.
Please turn yourself in. This is the ultimate breaking for me, and I said I couldn't lose another child, and I lost my husband, and now I really can't lose another child. David loved you. He loved me. He loved Kennedy, and he loved his family. He loved like you guys were his own. So if you see this, or if anybody sees this who has any information or who can contact Jaden, please let him know that I love him.
Now, Newton County deputies confirm both Gay and Daniel lived in the same house together on Avery Drive in Covington. Deputies say Daniel opened fire on his stepfather last night, then fled the scene in his stepfather's Cadillac Escalade. Now, they found that Escalade at a nearby park, Denny Dobbs Park, but Daniel was nowhere to be found. Now, his mom says after losing one son last year to murder and gun violence, and that was Kendarius Spear, and a husband just last night to gun violence, David Gay, she says she does not want to lose another family member. Now, Mrs. Gay says she was not at home and she does not know what happened. We will have much more of her interview tonight at 6. Reporting live in Newton County, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Wow, I can only imagine what this all must feel like for this mother. Angelique, thanks.
Wow.
You heard for yourself, right?
Gun violence is definitely something that must be stopped.
Right, but on a larger scale. Remember when I said in the intro, this video, we're going to tie it all together? We're speaking about a couple of videos ago, as I mentioned earlier, single mothers or single moms looking for, men to date.
Yeah.
Who they could, I guess, possibly
fulfill the circle of their family.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And this is why, me being a mom especially, I don't care for a young man if he doesn't have any kids in a previous relationship to meet a woman with kids.
Right.
Like, I don't care for it, because look at how this played out, right? And this is just a small this is, I can't even say this is a handful. This is a situation that is on a larger spectrum. So many times, right? How many times do you hear, it's all good to get entangled with somebody who has kids, and then as soon as you try to discipline them or whatever it is, or they become of age, you can't even tell them anything, because the first thing they're going to tell you, you're not my father.
Right.
You can't tell me nothing.
Right.
They're very disrespectful. Right to your face disrespectful. And a lot of times the moms, they're the ones that enable the shit, right? Call it for what it is. A lot of times the moms enable it, because they would turn around and tell the man who's now providing for them in every aspect, oh, that's not your son, that's not your kid, let me be the disciplinary person or something like that. And you say to yourself, if you got to deal with all of that, just stay with who you created your child with. Like, just stay with your baby daddy and call it a day.
Most of the moms, they would give that child some sort of leniency just for the fact that the separation between their father, you know, so they would kind of like cater to that child's behavior a little bit, you know, a little bit more to not try to really
cradling them.
Yeah, kind of cradle them. But at the same token, you have a whole new man in your life, and that new man, he's gonna have his 2 cents to want to put into the situation as well in order for him to keep that structure and that circle strong and that household safe, right? A lot of times, you know, us men, we get into situations like that for whatever reasons it might be. You know, we look at a lot of things as no big deal. You know, we're just helping out. We're just being supportive.
Yes.
We're just being, you know, that strong mentor in the house, you know, that type of stuff. A lot of times we can be a little bit overly aggressive, but in a good way, as to say that, you know, we mean well with the things
trying to
that
help
we
raise
may,
a good kid.
Yeah, we're just trying to structure a strong household, right?
And in some households, the father is the actual biological father
Yeah.
is absent. So you, as the man, right, being
Yeah.
the alpha male, so to speak,
Yeah.
you want to, I would hope, want to discipline this child in, as the Bible says, train a child in the way in which they should be. You know, trained. And if you can't even do that without them catching an attitude or pulling a gun on you and literally taking your life, then what's the point and purpose
Right.
to even get with a female who has kids from a previous relationship?
Right. And then again, it's like, you know, some of these kids, they like to play both sides of the fence.
Right.
Right.
And
Whenever it's convenient for them, they want to run to mom, or, you know, then they want to run to the
and make the
so-called
step parent
man of
look
the
even
house.
bad.
But they end up turning the situation around to have mom and the step parent argue with each other
Yes.
because of their wrongful doing and misbehaviors. So when this happens, a lot of times in the situation, the men would become the automatic protector and try to defuse the situation, but a lot of times they end up making it worse, because now it's like the kid is saying, Mom, how you let him talk to me like that? Or how mom is now put in a
Makes
position
mom
where
feel guilty.
she have to make a decision between this man and her child.
Right.
More than likely, a lot of times.
You saw how this played out, right?
Right.
What did
So-
she say? She said, "I love my husband, but I'm
Right.
begging," which is her son at this, but I'm begging that you
Turn
yourself in. And I'm
So-
like, you know what I'm saying? You love your husband, yes, great, but this man has lost his life.
Yes, 41 years old.
And then she's like, oh,
At his prime.
she lost the son already, and she's hoping not to lose this one.
Right.
But this son that you hope not to lose took another parent's son.
Right.
This man has parents too. I don't know if they're here or, you know, give or take. This man was the child. He was, I'm pretty certain, not only the son of someone, but he might have been an uncle of someone. He could have possibly
a family member,
have been
brother.
a dad, a brother, or something, right? So here it is. You want your son in his physical form, but your son took out somebody else's son.
Right. And I'm pretty sure
This is crazy.
he opened up his all to this family, right?
You saw the house they was living in.
Right. Now, I'm going to assume that might have been his house that he moved them into.
Who knows? But
His car, the Escalade.
the Escalade
Right.
that they did
So-
say that he stole his
Yeah.
stepdad's Escalade.
So it's like one of those situations where you try to uplift and show better faith in someone that just refuse to change. A lot of times men do that. We try to change things that's already broken.
Yeah.
We try to fix these things that's already broken, because in our world, we want everything to work as it should, respectfully, lovingly, caringly, and, you know, just all of the above. At times we do get to a point where it gets out of our hands, and a lot of times mom and dad end up fighting with each other because of this child. Because the child already knows in their mind, I'm not going to accept who you accept. So you can't force me to accept who you accept, speaking to the mom.
And then what really got to me was when the news reporter, her closing remarks was, this mom, like, she feels she didn't even like condolences to to Mr. Gay's family.
Yeah.
You know, God bless his soul. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, this mom, I forgot the words verbatim, but it was something along the line, this mom must really be taking it hard right now. Mom must really be taking it hard right now. To me, she didn't express much
sympathy
towards the fact that her husband is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she does it off camera. I don't know. I don't want to
Right.
really judge her too much. But at the end of the day, that's still her son.
Right.
Right? And
yeah, we do. We all just have to learn a little bit more about people as we bring them into our circles. Do a lot more researching, a lot more backgrounds. If you see that there's a mental off balance in anyone, do not try to fix them. They are that way for a reason.
it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, do not try to procreate with them because you're just asking for more trouble in your life. Stay away from a lot of people. You see the warning signs, stay away from them. Don't try to fix what's broken. It's not your job to fix something that you didn't break. If you didn't break it, you didn't have nothing to do with it. Don't try to fix what's already broken. Let them try to fix themselves. There's a lot of institutes out there that can help them fix their brokenness.
Exactly.
You know? Unfortunately, he lost his life, 41 years old in his prime, right? He already established home, nice car that he wanted, whatever the case might be. Now, where's all of that? Just for trying to help.
Sad.
Was it worth it?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Should have left her and her kids. I'm
Right.
sorry.
So, I mean, that's just my take on this whole situation. A lot of the stepdads that's out there, I commend you guys, you know, for sticking it through, for being there and just kind of like holding it down. But a lot of times you got to sleep with one eye open. If you see that these kids are like getting out of hand, you know, you go to sleep at night, lock your door.
Especially in this day and
You know what I'm saying? Lock your door. These kids, you know, they're smoking weed at an early age, and you know, the weed and all this other stuff mess with their minds. You know, they wake up in the middle of the night on some bullshit and you sleeping because you got to go to work the next day. You don't want no shit like that while you sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Because there's already a connection between the mother and that child. That anytime you try to step in between that little argument to add a little discipline to it,
it could go wrong.
you know what I'm saying? You would end up fighting with the mom, or you could fight with the child, or you could end up fighting with both of them.
That's
You
so
feel me?
true.
And both of them gonna be like, you're a bully.
That's my son.
All of a sudden you're a bully and you're just trying to defuse.
Exactly. Just leave
Like
the situation
I don't get
alone.
it. Like a lot of times, like I said, just be bold enough to walk away from a lot of shit that's bringing you down.
Don't even get yourself involved.
Don't get there. Don't even go there.
Don't get involved. You ain't got to worry about walking away.
Until the next time, of course, you know, we're gonna, you know, check with you guys, and we're always gonna have some juicy videos for you to react to, as well as, you know, our commentation to it.
Exactly.
All right.
But condolences to Mr. Gay. And I hope they find this young teen who happens to be, I'm pretty certain by now, maybe they might have found him. So hopefully if we find out any information, we'll definitely do a follow-up video.
Absolutely.
And that's
guys.
about it, my loves. Until next time.
All right. See y'all later.